Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do a knitted beanie, and it's doing color work. So you'll have a little bit of extra going on in your hands for a little bit if you're new to color work. This beanie I'm calling the Falling Leaf Beanie because it looks like the leaf is now floating down. And the inside, I'll show you what the inside looks like. That's what it looks like. These are called your floats back here where you're floating your yarn every 4 to 5 stitches. Turn that back around. Now there is a slight adjustment in the shape and size of the leaf for the tutorial that I'm doing today. I will do the adult beanie in a different video, which has an extra section in it. The pattern is on 2 sides of the hat, and the hat is worked bottom up in the round. Now you will be able to work this up using magic loop, using DPNs, or even using 2 size circulars. Your standard 16-inch hat style circular, and then one with the same size needle, just a longer cord to finish off the end, magic loop style, or some DPNs to do your decreases and finish it off. All right, so you have a basic overview of what the leaf looks like as far as the color and stuff like that. So what I used here actually was, I thought this had a lot of fall theme in it. It felt very fall color to me. And this is, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and it's called Jazzed Stripe. So that is what I used for my contrasting color. Now for the body of the hat, I used Premier Basic. And the color of this is called Hazel. Now it is like almost a beige cream color. So that's what I used for this hat. That is also what I will be using for the child or newborn baby's hat that we're doing today. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And here is my diagram of the leaf for the baby. I had to do the adjustment in size. So as you can see, it's got 2 parts versus 3 for the center of that oak leaf. Here's the adult one that I did up. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and with your main color, we're going to talk about how I'm going to reference these colors. So when I'm talking to you as I'm working the pattern, we are going to have a main color and a contrasting color. Now you can do this in whatever colors you so choose. I like how this pattern worked up on these leaves by using this. I love this yarn print. It turned out really neat. For the newborn baby, I am using I'll tell you in just a moment, a 4mm knitting needle. Now this is worsted weight yarn, but I am using a 4mm knitting needle, circular for hat size, and then I have a 4mm off to the side with a longer cable, so that way I can finish up the decreasing section of the hat. Now I do recommend having some stitch markers because we're going to be marking where our pattern is. So we're marking off each section of the pattern. Now will have 2 leaves on it, just like the adult size. So what you're going to do is you're going to cast on, for the newborn size, 64 stitches. and place your stitch marker for the beginning and end of the round. Then you're going to work a 1x1 ribbing, and you're going to work that ribbing for 3 rounds. That 1x1 ribbing is just knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, all the way around. So I went ahead and did that just to kind of save time. We're going to jump into the color work part of it now. And this will consist of 15 rounds. For round 1, we're going to use the main color and knit 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to bring in our contrasting color at this time. So I'm just going to make a loop with a tail long enough to sew in. And we're going to knit 5 with our contrasting color, which 5 is a good number because then we'll pick up the main color and start on the next part before we have to secure our floats as we go around. So we're going to knit 5 contrasting color now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to pick that main color back up and knit 12. During those 12 stitches, we're going to catch a float every 5 stitches, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So when we're knitting in color work, if you've never done it before, and we're creating floats, we want to make sure that our float has plenty of room for stretch. If we don't do that and we knit our next stitch, this will now be bunched up and not be able to have room to stretch. So you want to make sure that you stretch those stitches out. Now we can work our next stitch without bunching those stitches together. Okay, so that's how you work your floats. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now to capture that float, we're going to pick our contrasting color up and slide it over the top of our main color. You're going to pick your main color back up and knit your next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to stretch this out a little bit here. Once again, we're going to swap our colors around. Now, because I went up and over the last time, to keep my yarn from being all twisted, this time I'm going to take my main color and go over the top of the contrasting color, and then bring that contrasting color up and over. So now it is sitting on top of my main color, and I'm going to knit the last 2 stitches of those 12. Okay. Now we need to place a marker, and that is the pattern stitches for the leaf. Now we're going to complete it with a knit 8 in the main color. So once again, we're going to knit 5 in the main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the way that I'm holding it, it's already ready to twist over the top of that main color. So here we are. Now 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. This is the only row that I'm really going to go into how to do these floats. After this, it'll be just how many stitches of each color. Okay, so once you have knitted the 8 in the main color, you're going to place another marker. Now these 8 stitches are the stitches between the 2 leaves. You'll have it after your first leaf and after the second leaf. All right, now we're going to repeat that again. We're going to go ahead and switch your yarn so that way that float is captured there. And we're going to knit 7 in the main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 5. So we need to twist those 2 again, so that way it is getting held by the main color there. And 2 more, 1 and 2. Now we go to our contrasting color and knit 5. So again, I'm just making sure that everything is nice and stretched out. Now you will have these little loops and all of that. When you get done with it and stretch your stitches out, it will even out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're back to our main color for 12 stitches. And sometimes it just takes a moment to make sure that you've actually locked in that secondary strand that you're wanting to lock in. There we go. Now we got it. Okay. And we're going to do 12 in the main color. Of course, every 5 stitches, you're going to lock in that contrasting color as you go. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to do that again where it's going to capture that. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I want to do that again where it's twisted so I can do the last 2. 1 and 2. Now we need to place a stitch marker and knit 8 in the main color. Again, that is the 8 stitches in between the 2 leaves. So I'm just going to go ahead and twist that and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and twist it again and finish off the last 3 stitches. Okay, so this is the slowest round, just kind of giving you just a basics. If you've not really done any color work and you're kind of interested, that's how it's worked. You're carrying the yarn around as you go, but you have to make sure that you twist it every 5 stitches. I would not recommend doing more than 5 stitches. That way you're not with these big long floats that are going to be dangling inside. So it seems loose, but that's okay. Because again, once you take it off the needles and get all your stitches straightened out and adjusted, it will work itself out and even up. You may have, 1 or 2 rounds that might be a little more loose than others, but it just takes time to get used to working color work. Okay, now we're going to move on and continue moving a little bit faster now. All right, let's begin round 2. Round 2 begins with main color knit 2. So main color and knit 1 and 2. Contrasting color, knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Main color, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Contrasting color, knit 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Main color, knit 1, contrasting color, knit 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And main color is 6. So we're going to knit 5, twist our yarn, and knit the last stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Flip our yarn around here. Pop that off and knit the last one. Now knit your 8 main color for in between the leaves. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4, because I had one prior to the stitch marker. So now I'm going to swap that yarn around and knit the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you're going to repeat that one more time. And I will meet up with you for round 3. Let's begin round 3. 6 contrasting color. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to flip these 2 and finish that last stitch. 6. 3 main color. 1, 2, and 3. 4 contrasting color. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 main color. 5 contrasting colors. 1, 2, 3. 4, and 5. 5 main color. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slip your stitch marker when you come to it, and finish your repeat stitches with the last 8 being main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I did, just so you can see, I did switch those along the way. Sometimes I do it at 3, sometimes at 4, just depending on where I'm at in the pattern. The main thing is you don't want to go more than 5 stitches. Then your floats get too long. So that is it for round 3. You're going to repeat those stitches one more time, and I'll meet back up with you for round 4. Round 5 begins with 1 main color and 13 contrasting colors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, and 13. 1 main color, five contrasting colors, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 4 main color, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Slip your stitch marker, and you will work the next 8 stitches in the main color only. And that will be the end of your pattern repeat for round 5. Go ahead and repeat those stitches one more time, and I will meet back up with you for round 6. All right, let's begin round 6. Round 6 begins with main color, knit 1, contrasting color, knit 19. So now I'm going to pick up that contrast color and knit 19. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Now we knit 4 with the main color. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Slip your stitch marker and knit the last 8 in main color. You will then repeat those stitches one more time. Once you have repeated those stitches one more time and reach the end of your round, I'll meet back up with you for round 7. All right, let's begin round 7. Round 7 is main color 2, so knit 1 and 2 in the main color. Now we're going to switch to contrasting color for 18 stitches. So you're going to knit the next 18 in the contrasting color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now we're going to knit 4 in the main color. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip your stitch marker and knit the last 8 of your repeating stitches in the main color. And then you will repeat all of those stitches one more time to complete round 7. All right, let's begin round 8. Round 8 starts with main color 7. So we're going to knit the first 7 stitches in the main color. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6 and 7. Now your contrasting color for 13 stitches. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, and 13. The next 4 stitches in the main color, and then slip your stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, and then the next 8 stitches in the main color, passing your stitch marker when you come to it and repeating all of the stitches that we just did. So you will repeat all of the pattern stitches through here and the 8 separation stitches one more time, and I'll meet back up with you for round 9. To begin round 9, we're going to knit the first 3 in the main color. So 1, 2, and 3. Picking up the contrasting color for the next 16 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and one more for 16. All right, the next 5 stitches are main color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slip your stitch marker when you come to it, and the next 8 stitches are in main color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you're going to repeat all of those stitches one more time. When you come to the end of the round, I'll meet back up with you for round 10. Let's begin round 10. Begins with knitting the first 2 stitches in the main color, 1 and 2, and the next 18 stitches in your contrasting color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And the last 4 before your stitch marker is in the main color. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Slip your stitch marker. And the next 8 stitches before your next stitch marker are in the main color. Those are always in the main color because they are just the separation stitches between the 2 leaf patterns. You're going to repeat those stitches one more time, and when you get to the end, I'll meet back up with you for round 11. To begin round 11, we're going to start with knitting the first stitch in the main color and the next 10 stitches in the contrasting color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 2 in the main color. 1 and 2. 8 in your contrasting color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3 in your main color. 1, 2, 3, and you'll complete the repeat by slipping your stitch marker and knitting the next 8 stitches in the main color. You will repeat all of those stitches one more time to complete the round for round 11. I will meet back up with you for round 12. To begin round 12, we're going to begin with knitting the first 2 stitches in the main color, 1 and 2. The next 8 in your contrasting color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The next 3 in the main color. 1, 2, and 3. The next 5 in the contrasting color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 in your main color. 1 and 2. 2 in your contrasting color. 1 and 2. 2 in the main color. 1 and 2. Slip your stitch marker and complete that repeat of stitches by knitting the next 8 in your main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you will repeat all of those stitches one more time to complete round 12. I'll pick back up with you for round 13. Let's begin round 13. Main color, first 4 stitches. So knit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Contrasting color, the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Main color, 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Contrasting color, the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Main color, the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Contrasting color, the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Main color, the last stitch before the stitch marker. Slip your stitch marker and finish this repeat of stitches by knitting the next 8 in your main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You're going to repeat all of those stitches one more time to finish round 13. I will meet back up with you for round 14. Let's begin round 14. We're going to knit the first 11 stitches in the main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We're going to knit the next 6 stitches in the contrasting color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The next 5 stitches in the main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the last 2 stitches in your contrasting color. Slip your stitch marker when you come to it, and you will complete this repeat of stitches by knitting the last 8 stitches in the main color. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Five, 6, 7, and 8. You're going to slip your stitch marker and repeat all of those stitches one more time to complete round 14. I'll meet back up with you for round 15. let's begin our last round of the pattern stitches. After this round, you will be able to cut away from your contrasting color, and we will continue on in our main color to complete this hat, completing the decreases for the crown. So to begin round 15, we are going to knit the first 11 stitches in the main color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 4 in our contrasting color. So pick up your contrasting color for the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 8 in your main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 1 in your contrasting color. Oops. I have to tick back a few stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Only because I forgot to catch my float there. And now I'll go forward. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, same amount of stitches. I just had to tick back and catch that float at the 5th stitch. And our last stitch before the stitch marker is your contrasting color. Now you're going to complete the last 8 stitches before your next stitch marker in the main color. And then you will repeat all of these stitches one more time, and that will complete your contrasting color. You then can cut away from your contrasting color, leaving a tail long enough to sew in your tail end. And 3. Slip your stitch marker over. All right, so go ahead and complete those repeat stitches one more time, and I'll meet back up with you for the crown part of our beanie. All right, so now you have made it through the leaf pattern. Yay! Okay, the next 3 rounds, you're just simply going to knit. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our stitch markers on the first round and replace them on the 3rd round. So we're just going to knit every stitch all the way around for 3 rounds. On the 3rd round, you will place your stitch markers every 16 stitches. So just remove those stitch markers that we had for our pattern stitches and replace them every 16 stitches on the 3rd round. That way you are set up to begin our decreasing rounds. So again, I'm just going to knit over here to the first stitch marker and drop it off, and I'll pick it back up in a couple rounds like that. So continue knitting all the way around for 3 rounds. I'll meet back up with you when I'm at that point. Okay, so now we're going to begin our decrease rounds, and this is how it's going to go. I'm going to try to shorten this up for you a little bit. I know it's a lengthy video, so let's go ahead and get started. You're going to knit every round. This is going to be your repeat. No matter the stitches, this is going to be your repeat. You're going to knit to 2 stitches before your stitch marker, and then you'll knit 2 together. And you'll repeat that all the way around, and you will continue that until you have 8 stitches between your stitch markers. So you should decrease a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds to get down to 8 stitches. Once you are down to the 8 stitches, I will show you what to do next. Once again, your repeat every round for the rounds is knit to the last 2 stitches and knit 2 together. Slip your stitch marker and repeat. I'm going to do that very first one with you. So knitting down to 2 stitches before the stitch marker. There we are. All right, now I'm 2 stitches before the stitch marker, and I'm just going to knit 2 together. I'm going to continue that repeat all the way around, slip my stitch marker, and repeat it again. Same thing the following round. You're going to do the same exact thing. Knit to 2 stitches before your stitch marker, knit 2 together. Continue that repeat around. Continue doing that until you have 8 stitches between your stitch markers, and at that time I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm at this point where I am on doing magic loop, and I'm down to, I've decreased down to 8 stitches between each of the stitch markers. Now we're going to knit 1 full round at this point. Once you've completed that round, we're going to knit to 2 before our stitch marker. We're going to do 1 more round of decrease. So go ahead and knit over to 2 before your stitch marker, and then knit those 2 together. At this point, you will have a total of 2, 4, 6, and 7 between your stitch markers. So go ahead and continue all the way around, making sure that you have a total of 7 stitches between each of your stitch markers, and I'll return. Okay, now that we have 7 stitches between our stitch markers, we're going to knit 1 full round, removing the stitch markers as we come to them. So just knit to your first stitch marker and drop it off like such, and go ahead and knit to the next stitch marker, because the next round is our last and final round before we draw string, sew it up, and put a pom-pom on it if you so choose. I will be putting a pom-pom on this particular hat, but not on the video. If you would like for me to do a video on how I make pom-poms, you are more than welcome to comment down below in the comment section and let me know that you would like to see me do a pom-pom video, how I make them. All right. And coming up to the very end here. Now this last and final round, you're going to knit 2 together all the way around. So get set up here. All right, so here we are. We're at the beginning. You're going to work a knit 2 together for every 2 stitches. Let me loosen those up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so just knit 2 together all the way around. Go, last 2 stitches. There we are. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove my start and stop stitch marker here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut a tail, about 6 to 8 inches. It doesn't have to be very long, and use our darning needle to sew up the top. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. So how I do it is I take them off knitwise. So just as if I was to knit the stitch, I'm going to stick my darning needle into that stitch and pop it off. Catch the next one and continue to work to the end of this row here. Now I'll draw that tail thread or tail yarn through, and now I'll pull it needle up into the last little bit of stitches here, and again just working them knitwise off of the knitting needle onto the darning needle. Just like that. Okay. And now what I do is I draw it up just a little bit, stick my needle and tail thread through the center, and turn it inside out where I can draw that center closed, cinch it up good and tight, and sew in my ends. So let me turn this back around so that way you can see what it looks like. Of course, I gotta adjust the stitches here, which I suggest you do. Just kind of work your stitches one direction and then another, and that kind of gets them all to where they're gonna lay neat. So here is the leaf design on the newborn baby beanie. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you make this, I would love to see it. You are welcome to share it in our Facebook group. If you answer the security questions, that is the quickest way into the group. Otherwise, I have to go and check out your profile before I will let you into the group. Lots of spammers. Also, if you don't have Facebook or Instagram, you can also send it to me in an email. All of that information is linked down below in the description box. Be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.